Mr. Martin, it's not required that you would say anything today, but it is allowed. Is there anything you want to tell me or no?
Yes, sir. Like I said in that letter, I stand before you today, a young man ready to accept the consequences for his actions, and I accept full responsibility for what I've done. I'm really ready to just move forward past all this and start this next chapter of my life and be a better partner to my significant other and a positive father figure for my child once he comes.
Buckle up, guys. Today we're going to witness a moment that starts calm but quickly sets the tone for everything that follows. The judge gives Mr. Martin the chance to speak, and he steps forward sounding respectful and remorseful. He talks about accepting responsibility, moving forward, and becoming a better partner and father to his unborn child. On the surface, it feels like a sincere turning point. But in a courtroom, words alone rarely outweigh a long record of choices. And this quiet introduction leaves everyone wondering whether the judge will believe him or see right through it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rich, people's recommendation.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant is 25 years old. At that young age, he already has 5 felonies and 4 misdemeanors, which is significant for such a young age. He's here to be sentenced on a possession and delivery pleas. He has made choices after being offered previous services of probation and incarceration, and here we are today, the second one being committed while he's on bond for the first. I know that sometimes people think, oh, well, having a child changes things, but there's probate courtrooms full of cases where people still continue to make bad choices despite having children. Oftentimes you have to make that decision first for yourself before you can help others or be anything for others. And I think that by Mr. Martin's actions and choices, that the court should follow the recommendation, and I believe that it should be ordered consecutively. Thank you.
All right, guys, the tone of the courtroom shifts almost instantly as the prosecution begins laying out the hard facts. At just 25 years old, Mr. Martin already carries 5 felony convictions and 4 misdemeanors, a record that immediately changes how his earlier apology sounds. The prosecutor reminds the court that he has already been given chances through probation and prior sentences, yet the pattern of bad decisions continued. This moment strips away the emotional appeal and replaces it with reality, making it clear the judge is now weighing history, not just promises.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. If you please stand for the court sentence. Mr. Martin, your lawyer's done a great job for you throughout this case, and you haven't really made your job all that easy. While you've got a pending case for possession with intent to deliver methamphetamine, and should get you an outcome down to a possession, you're still out there while you're on bond for a serious felony, and you're out there selling drugs and saying gets a controlled buy-in to you while you're on bond in a drug case. That's just a spectacularly terrible decision. When I kind of back up and look at this case, you were, your last sentence was 3 years in prison. So you're on parole from a sentence where you went to prison for 3 years. While on parole, you're involved with Mr. Sayers with enough methamphetamine that it was intent to deliver for sure, and then the degree to which you're participating in the chase may be unclear, but you're definitely not a kidnapping victim here. You're tossing the drugs out the window. You're running wild out there while you're on parole. And then while you're on bond for that case, you end up, I don't know, there was a parole detainer. And then I think when they discharged it, so then they finally discharged you from parole, which Lord knows why the Department of Corrections would discharge you from parole when you committed a felony crime while on parole. I don't know why they...
Buckle up, guys, because this is where the judge completely breaks down the situation piece by piece. He doesn't just criticize a crime. He walks through a chain of decisions that paint a troubling pattern. While on parole from a previous prison sentence, Martin became involved in methamphetamine activity. And even while out on bond for that case, he was still selling drugs. The judge calls a spectacularly terrible decision highlighting how each opportunity for reform was followed by another reckless move. At this point, you can feel the courtroom realizing that the outcome is likely
Usually we're going to
severe.
ratchet this up a bit. So this is, there's obviously good reasons to even go above those advisory guidelines. I think that for sure, I'm very sure that upper end of that advisory guideline range is a definitely proportionate sentence given the circumstances. So in file 6767, I am going to commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections for not less than 47 months, nor more than 15 years, exercising my discretion under the habitual offender statute to increase the statutory maximum. I'm going to give you credit for 71 days previously served after the parole detainer evaporated when they discharged you. There's also state costs of $68 and $130 in a crime victims assessment and $200 restitution. In file 6880, this is the delivery while you were on bond for the methamphetamine case. There's restitution of $70, state cost of $68, crime victims assessment of $130. And I will commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections. Again, I think a term on the upper end of the advisory guidelines is certainly proportional for the fact that you're out there selling drugs while you're on bond for a drug case. So I'll commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections for not less than 23 months, nor more than 7 years. It is discretionary consecutive, and Michigan does prefer concurrent sentencing, has a strong preference for that. But while somebody's on parole, involved in drugs, and then while they're on bond for that, they're selling drugs, I'm not sure there's a whole lot more cases that call out for consecutive sentencing more than that, just continuing to do that while you're involved in the system. So I'm going to exercise my discretion and run those consecutive so you get 0 days credit on the second case. Mr. Martin, you can appeal your conviction or my sentences or both by filing an application with the Court of Appeals. If you want a lawyer, I'll give you one, but you have to ask me within 42 days. So we're going to hand you some paperwork explaining the appeal process, ask you to initial one copy for us.
All right, guys, this is the moment where everything finally comes to a head. After carefully reviewing the record and the repeated offenses, the judge delivers a sentence. Martin receives a prison term of 47 months to 15 years on the first case, and another sentence of 23 months to 7 years on the second. But the real impact comes when the judge decides those sentences will run consecutively, meaning the time stacks rather than overlaps. It's a clear message that repeated chances have run out. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.